So let admit all. Okay, so we can start now. Okay, all right, yes. So I want to see where you guys are calling from. So I see United States, Bradford, Australia, London, UK, US, Wales, Bradford again, US, UK, Canada. All right. Wow, that's really exciting. Well, thank you for joining me. That means a lot to me. I put in so much time and effort and put this together, and I'm really keen to make sure you guys understand it, you find it valuable, and you gain something from it. Okay, so I'm going to start, guys. Welcome to this class. We're going to talk about today on how to start a profitable African fashion e-commerce in 5 simple steps in 2024 and how you can do it too. I will be posting probably here and there just because I'm trying to let everyone else in, so just bear with me. And please do make sure you mute yourselves as you join in the class. Okay, so in today's class, we're going to learn a little bit about myself. We're going to talk about exactly what are these 5 steps to start your successful African fashion business. We're going to look into on how to market your brand after launch and how I can support you while you're starting your brand. And then right at the end, we're going to have a QA session. I'm still hearing someone's voices, so please, guys, do make sure you're muting yourselves. I don't want to spend too much time and keep on saying this just for the sake of everyone's time. Okay, so a little bit housekeeping. So make sure you got pen and paper ready with you. Take notes. We're gonna go through a lot of information. Ask your questions through the Q&A session right at the end, but you're definitely welcome to write these questions right now in the comment box. Please do stay muted if you're not talking. Pop your questions in the chat. Respect one another and do not talk over each other. And remember to always mute yourselves when after you finish talking, and let's engage with each other as much as possible. So I'll definitely be asking you guys questions and making sure you're all here with me. So who is teaching you today? I am Adelaide Olu. And who am I? I'm a married mother of 2 sets of twins. I was born and raised in Italy, located, but I currently live in the UK. I moved in here when I was about 16 years old. My background is in UX design, digital marketing, e-commerce, branding, and I've got over 7 years of experience within this particular field and also in coaching. I used to coach women on how to use Instagram back in 2017, and I moved on to e-commerce at the end of 2019. I've coached over 900 students on how to start their own online businesses. So not only African fashion, but also other industries within e-commerce, digital products, and etc. And I built my own African fashion brand from ground up all the way to when we reached the 6 figures within my brand, which I'm still currently running at this present time. I've also helped businesses to reach a 5 figures on a monthly basis, and I've also helped the beginners to understand how to start the brand. So, which is very crucial because sometimes you find it easy to actually to scale your business, but to actually know what kind of fundamentals to have in place to make sure you're not just started, but you know how to move forward. That is a whole different type of task, and I've also been able to tackle that. So these are my 2 current brands. So the one on the right hand side is my African fashion brand, started running back in 2019, and we have reached over 20,000 followers. And we've been able to reach also 6 figures with that. We have been able to ship to orders literally all around the world. So I'm living in the UK. I got a lot of customers that are based in the US, but also Canada, Ireland, Netherlands, also Nigeria, Australia, and etc. Now, this other second brand was actually just launched. It hasn't launched yet. I'm currently working in I'm currently at the pre-launch stage. So I'm currently making sure it's kind of ready in place. We're going to launch it in May. It's not African fashion. It's actually in shapewear. But again, it's an opportunity for me to actually really trying to tackle a little bit more how to start a fashion brand. Again, I'm looking into trying to resolve an issue, which is something I kind of really encountered when I had my second set of trains back in 2021, which is me providing a new set of shapewear that is very much ideal, that is a lot more comfortable, a lot more seamless. So this other brand is going to be launching in May, and I'm just kind of at the stage of on the pre-launch stage, pretty much. I just want to mute com the new people that just gonna join us. That's it. Now, these are a couple of reviews that I put together from my past customers. Here, you guys can see some screenshots that was sent to me, some messages. So people have been able to definitely reach the goal by working with me. And most importantly, because a lot of people will tell you, oh, you can't make money by selling African fashion items. But that is actually not true once you understand what you need to make sure, what we need to have in place to start running that profitable brand. So I was really keen to make sure you guys do understand that you can definitely make money from African fashion brand if you start it with the right mindset. I see a lot of people doing it because they don't want to get extra money, and that is fine. But for you to actually build a legacy, a brand that can really last the test of time, you need to have a bit of a different focus. You want to try to really understand what kind of problem you're trying to solve and how your business brings the solution to that problem. You want to figure out exactly who are your customers, which we're going to talk about a little bit more at a later stage. And you want to understand whatever you do is customer centric. And as long as you have that kind of focus, as time goes on, it gets a little bit more easier for you to keep on reaching your own audience on the internet. When you're running your business online, you need to focus a lot on understanding the psychology of the customers. Because when you have a physical storefront, it's a lot more easier. You got your storefront as like a billboard, people walking into your store. You may have some sales assistants, they're looking at the rails, they're looking at the clothes, they're thinking, this is cute, this is nice. And it's a lot more easier for you to convert these individuals into sales. But when you're on an online business, it's a little bit more different. Today, we're going to talk about a little bit more about the buyer persona that your customers are running through when they're looking into in buying a product from your business. So let's start with the class, shall we? So the very first thing you want to do when it comes to understanding how to start your African fashion brand, you want to ask yourself exactly what is going to be your business model. How exactly are you going to deliver your products to your customers? How are you going to be collecting the funds from your customers? Are you going to have a subscription-based business? Are you going to be providing items in bulk as a wholesaler? Are you trying to be working with a private label, for example? Are you going to be working with vendors and suppliers that are based in Nigeria, for example? So you have many different options, but it's really all down to what you want to achieve. What do you think it works well for you as you being the founder of this business? And how do you think your customers want to be served within that industry? Just because you're selling African fashion items, it doesn't mean we all need to go with the same business model. It's very much down to how you get your merchandise and how exactly you will plan to expand when the time comes. So when you have your own e-commerce, you have the opportunity to use any sort of online platform to be able to reach your consumers literally at every stage. That's the beauty about you running an online business. You can have customers come from all around the world, and you can actually reach as many as you can as long as you have access to the internet. Now, we have a variety of different business models in here and that are available. And nowadays, each of these can be very doable just because you go access literature to the internet and you can decide to host your store either on Shopify or on BigCommerce or any of these other e-commerce platforms. Or if you do have the funds and you do have the luxury to actually hire an IT person to build your store for you from scratch, so that they're going to be there to code each page. They're going to be there to add to structure your website, making sure that everything is done in the right manner. Then by all means, also go for that. I believe it's best for you to use Shopify because it gives you so many opportunities, so many features that help you to generate more revenue, that help you to get more leads into your own business. And you also have the opportunity to look at your data, your analytics. You can actually understand what's happening within your own store by looking at the numbers that are on your back end. And your numbers are not only your sales you get on a daily basis. Your numbers are also the amount of people that come into your store on a daily basis, the amount of people that sign up to your email list, the amount of people that are getting onto your collection page until when they move on to the product page. So you definitely have a different type of numbers to keep in mind, and you've been able to see all that data on a daily basis helps you to make more informative decisions on how to move forward with your business. Now, let's go back to our business model. B2B is a business to business. So what that means is that you may be, for example, looking into becoming a wholesaler okay? Or you may actually be a manufacturer that's providing products to other businesses. And that could be, for example, Target maybe, or Mars if you live in the UK. So any sort of product that you believe is needed on bulk and is also needed by other businesses, that is you essentially starting a B2B kind of business. B2C is business to consumer, which is what we all tend to do. I'm running many businesses that to consumer. So what that means is that as a business, I'm only focusing in providing a service that helps the individuals, the consumers. So what that means is that I'm probably buying a lot of this in bulk from a wholesaler, which tend to be cheaper in that way. And when I receive these items, I'm going to price them in a way that I'm taking into consideration all my extra overhead, like shipping, taxes, packaging, marketing, branding, running my business online, and etc. So that is what you would call a B2C kind of model. Now, B2B2C, that essentially is business to consumer. So what does that mean? It's basically what a B2C is. You are first liaising with a wholesaler or with a manufacturer to get your product in bulk. So you are working with a business that is working again with you being a business. And then once that,
Who is that?
please guys, can
Open
you
the
make
door.
sure
Daddy
you're
is
all,
outside.
can you guys make sure you're muting yourselves? How do I? Yes. So as I was saying, business to business is essentially me as a business liaising with another wholesaler. And then once that transaction is completed, we're going to move on straight into moving on to the customer. So I'm providing the to the customers. Then you got B2G, which is business to government. Essentially, what you are is that you're a business that's been vetted by the government. You're a government entity now, and every time the government is bringing out a new contract, you put yourself available to take up that kind of contract. So you are bidding for the particular contract, and ideally, you would have met some requirements that makes you eligible for you to be taken into consideration for the particular contract. For example, let's say you are selling mattresses to hospitals, okay, to state hospitals, and you can see that your own state or your own region is looking for, I don't know, 1,000 beds or 1,000 mattresses, etc. Because you're selling those kind of mattresses and because you already put yourself in the directory of businesses that are entitled to serve the government, you have more chances of being taken into consideration once you put through your own bid request. Then you have a C2B, which is a bit like it's basically consumer to business, and an example for that is pretty much is even stuff like marketplaces. Yeah, that's essentially what it is. So as a consumer, you have the opportunity to sell your product to bigger businesses, pretty much. And you can do that in any way. It could be maybe, for example, a lady who's very good in baking cakes, and a particular company noticed that lady's thinking, actually, I really want to order some cakes from her, okay? And then I want to make sure that I get these cakes to me in bulk. So this particular lady, she may not be actually be a whole business. She's more of a consumer that has been told she could actually look into in selling those cakes on a more professional kind of level and to start doing them. C2B are not always reliable. The sales cycle tend to be a little bit more shorter because once you kind of really do one cycle, you don't tend to get as many more coming in, and it's a little bit more unpredictable. Then you got C2C, which is essentially consumer to consumer. That's a bit like eBay. That's a bit like Amazon, for example, and etc. So all these kind of platforms in which you have people like you and myself just kind of really go into those platforms to put on sale their old products, their old clothing, shoes, and etc. The main difference between all these business models is all down to how long it takes to complete a transaction, okay, and how exactly are you going to be delivering this product. I'm not saying deliver, I'm not just saying to you shipping. I'm actually referring to making sure your customers receive these items. Like, what is the process like? From the very second they place the order with your store until when they're 100% ready until when they're at that stage to actually receive these products to their own houses. So what is the whole cycle like? If, for example, you're mainly working with manufacturers, like for example, like myself, I work with manufacturers that are based in Africa. So the way we kind of really go through this relationship is very much by me just being on the phone with them through Zoom, through messages. So all these steps are part of our transaction, pretty much, until eventually I start paying for the very first deposit. That has been like about 30% of the whole order, and then I pay the whole our standing amount just before they ship it out. So that particular sales cycle, it could go on for up to 4 to 6 weeks because it takes that time to get your items ready. Within the African fashion industry, people tend to go for the B2C model, so business to consumer. You are a business and you're providing products to your customers, to your consumers, pretty much. Then value delivery method for e-commerce innovation. So this is also the following step I want to look into in thinking about when to start your African fashion business. Are you gonna start with a white label? So what is a white label? A white label is that situation in which you are essentially buying items from another manufacturer or a supplier or a vendor. Items that already been done already. You're not the one that designed these items, okay? So these have been done in-house by these other companies, and they sell this in bulk, and that becomes your inventory. And it's white label because there's not really any particular designer or name of the company on it. And once you have this within your own store, they become part of your inventory. That was a white label. Now, the private label is a situation in which you are actively designing your own product. You are the one that actually does decides what to include into your own collection, and then they also go ahead and add the branding, so the tags, the labels, the packaging. It shows your logo. It shows the fact that it is your own business, and etc. That is what's the private label. The wholesaling, as you guys may know already, is essentially you being able to provide the items in bulk, and what you do is that you tend to make a lot more money by you selling each product by you selling at least 30 items in one go or 50 items and etc. And the only thing about wholesale is that you most likely you need a team because you may not be the only person creating these items. If you're the only one sewing these products, eventually you're going to reach a clear ceiling because there's so much you can't do within 24 hours. And there's so much time you got available, there's so much energy you got available as you being the only person. But when you're able to reach, let's say, at least 3 people or 5 people, you can delegate how much work needs to be done. And you can spend a little bit more time in marketing your brand. Because when you have an online business, it definitely takes a lot of time for you to market your brand. And the second you stop marketing, it is the second you also stop getting money coming into your business. So the bigger the team is, the better. Drop shipping is that kind of a model in which you have an online store. You do not hold any inventory. You don't worry about shipping. You don't worry about label or anything like that. What you do is that you have a relationship with a particular supplier that could be based in China or in Africa, and etc. And within your online store, there'll be some sort of integration within your store and their businesses. Now, what happens? When a customer comes to your store and buys the product, your supplier that's based in China or in Africa receives a notification about product being bought. Now, what they do is that they're going to package it and they're going to send it directly to your customers. So for every order that your store receives, they get a percentage for it. And they're the ones that actually spend the time to fulfill that order. Now, the downside is that you don't get to see what your goods look like. You may get a couple of bad reviews because sometimes these items do come in very bad conditions. And most of the times you can't run a just shipping brand if you're focusing on African fashion because all our African fashion suppliers and vendors tend to be based in Africa where there's no great infrastructure, and they're not able to provide an item that quickly to a customer that buys it online. Drop shipping is more ideal for people that are looking into having a supplier probably based in China, in Southeast Asia most of the times. They're able to get products sent to the Western countries within 2 to 3 weeks, which is still a very long time. But as long as you're able to maintain a communication within yourself and your customers, these customers are able to wait for the particular item. And then you have a subscription service. I did used to have a subscription service business back in 2018. And the essential about this is that you provide a product to a customer on a monthly basis, and these customers get charged every month. I used to provide the African fashion print textiles 6 years, about 2 or 3 of them for a certain amount of money. And the only reason why that I actually stopped is because I realized it became too expensive to ship these orders, especially to people that are based in America. And these fabrics are actually heavy. So when I'm trying to send an order to, let's say, someone in the US anyway, and I had to look into the kg, and I'm trying to go through FedEx or DHL, they could charge me, that was back in 2017, 2018, that was about £22 just kind of send one particular box to the customers. And whatever they were paying was not even it didn't even make it really worth my time. So that's kind of really why I stopped it. But if you think about any other type of product that you think is actually light, because the weight is very important when you're thinking about providing a service or a product on a monthly basis. I want to really think about clearly about your target audience. Who are your customers? When I run my brand, my customers were mainly sewists, people that love to sew items, and they're very passionate about doing little items on a monthly basis. And it worked fine for them because they love the opportunity to get different type of fabrics on a monthly basis that's very colorful, and they don't really know what it's going to be looking like. So it's all down to you understanding very clearly who's the target audience, who are your customers, why would they need a product that frequently, and how can you best get delivered to them. The way you deliver your product makes it a whole difference onto the kind of value that your customers place on your business. When a business tends to be slow to provide products, customers that can tend to gain a very bad feeling about that brand, and they don't want to really interact with it as much. So whatever you want to do, if for any reason you think it's going to take too long to get a product to a customer, just make sure your communication with these customers. Let them know. They want to be kept in the loop, and that's really all they need. Then you need to kind of ask yourself exactly what kind of product you believe you like to be selling. The white label again. Okay, so white label is essentially you working with a manufacturer, okay? You're working with a particular manufacturer or vendor supplier. They are the ones showing you what kind of items they have within house. These items do not have any sort of branding, which means that you can just take them on as part of your own business, and then you place your own branding, you say make it yours. It's a bit like you going to, let me give you an example I can think of. It's a bit like you going to a supermarket or any other type of offer or business that involves a product that they're not created themselves in-house and they're not even gotten design themselves, but they bought it from a third party and they added it onto their own collections. That's essentially what it is. Okay, so you're welcome. Okay, so first step, next step, you want to think about the product. What exactly are you going to be selling? Your product, as you can imagine, is very important, okay? There's no other ways around it, but it's still not the very first thing you want to do. First thing you want to do is to think about exactly what is going to be your business model and how you're going to move forward with that. Now, with your product, you want to ask yourself exactly, what do you want to sell? Why do you want to sell it? Who needs that product? Is it going to be a physical product or it's going to be a service? How are you going to source these goods? This is a key question, especially within the African fashion industry, because it's difficult to source good, high quality African fashion items. And that's because we have the Chinese who have access to loads of machineries and they can also create their African fashion clothing. Okay, so we're gonna ask you exactly how do you get these goods? Also, is expensive. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It costs a lot of money for you to get products done on the African continent, down to the UK, US, Canada, etc. And why is that? Because the infrastructure on this land is not that reliable, and a lot of the money actually goes into insurance. They need to ensure the employees that are actually picking up these items for you and they're traveling across these lands to come onto to come on the other side. So that is why it tend to be expensive. I was talking today to a client of mine and she said to me she's based in Georgia. She's gonna spend about $200 to get a 3 kg box through FedEx from Ghana, I think she said. And that just because and that was the standard price really. She will get it within 5 to 6 days, definitely. That is for sure. But she now need to think about how to price the items in a way that all the overhead would be covered. So, how much each product is going to cost you? So you want to make sure that you understand how much it's going to cost you and how are you going to price these items in a way that you can cover all your expenditures. And the way you price your items is going to include your marketing. So maybe you want to be using paid advertisement, maybe you want to be using some influencers, maybe you want to be using billboards within your own town. It could be anything. But all these expenses need to be taken back by you selling the products to your customers. Any extra fees, that is very common, especially if you're getting items from a different continent. You're probably going to be paying fees to get this item across the borders, especially if you're using a cargo company. I use a cargo companies as well from Nigeria to the UK. And what I do is I just gonna travel down to the airport to go and pick it up. And when I go in there, I gotta pay extra, probably about extra £200 to get it all cleared out. And then sometimes even extra £100 for any of the extra fees. And then on top of that, I'm also hiring the van, the driver and the van to pick up the inventory and to send and to get it back to my house. So you got all that extra fees to take into consideration. Then you want to ask yourself, what are going to be the variations of this product? How many other options are going to be for the particular product in different colors, different sizes, how many units? You may find out there's a hero product. And when that happens, you want to make sure you're creating more of that hero product. I want to make sure you're including all the sizes that you believe your target audience will need. I found out that within African fashion industry, it helps for you to order the bigger sizes. I used to sell also UK 6, UK 8, but they didn't really sell, so I had to kind of stop. UK 10 is actually my smaller size right now that I stock within my store because I've realized that people don't tend to buy as many smaller sizes. Also, collection ideas. Every time I'm thinking about a new collection, I'm always going to ask myself, what is going to look like on social media? Why do I do that? Because I'm selling clothing. I'm selling you an illusion. I'm selling you a feeling. I want you to feel good. Okay. And that feeling good journey starts from the second your eyes land on my Instagram page. If what you're looking at doesn't look nice, you're probably not going to buy it. And that's the reality. Now, I'm not trying to say to you that the looking nice is my main marketing point, my main unique selling point, because it's really not. But I know for the fact to make sure marketing strategy is a lot more easier, my clothing need to be looking good. And my models need to be able to have to rock these products. That's why I don't really advise you get a family and friend to come out and wear your products, even though I get it, is a more affordable way, and that's totally fine. But I found out that when I'm able to invest some money in getting real models, getting makeup artists, getting a studio, a photographer to get all my content ready, everything comes out just beautiful. And that extra beautiful always pays off, especially when you're trying to get your product in front of people that don't know who you are. When you have a high quality product pictures, mainly on your website, you have high chances of converting these visitors on your site into buyers because the high quality of imagery has given your customers the confidence and the trust that tells them, yeah, you know what, I'm a legitimate business, I'm reliable, I know what I'm doing. I will definitely get this product to you once you make the order. So every aspect of your business that you're running need to be definitely, you need to kind of ask yourself exactly what does that look like in front of the customers. Because I'm focusing a lot in acquiring customers through social media, I always kind of ask myself exactly what's going to look on social media. That's the reality. On social media platforms are very much there for brand awareness and promotion. And these two steps are very important. Not really so much about sales, but I know for the fact once I'm able to acquire a customer, to get someone either in my email list or they come onto my own site, I got a whole new set of automations set up on my background to get these people back onto my store. All I need is to get that person to come onto my store straight away. That's the message that I need to do. And for them to come to my store, they have to look at my Instagram page and thinking, this is nice. This is cool. This is cute. This is actually not too bad. That is very important. Even when I work with influencers, I want to make sure that the influencer do understand the assignment. They know what needs to be done. They know how to carry the item because I'm not selling just the African fashion clothing. I'm selling you a whole feeling. I want to feel confident and happy when you're wearing these vibrant colors. So all those feelings need to be shown somehow within my content, within the pictures and the videos, because that's the very first impression that a new visitor has about my own business. If they come onto my store, I know or if they come onto my page, sorry, I know they're saying it's just a DM me, is on sale, I got available in all sizes. I'm not giving a good impression. What's that? Nothing. It's not returning anything. But when I actually go out of my way to create captions that are captivating to get people to really think and imagine themselves wearing these items, then I know I'm one step ahead. I know I'm already kind of guiding these people onto their own buyer persona. And what is a buyer persona? Essentially, excuse me, the buyer persona is the journey that any individual start making from the second they come across your own store. So think about it this way. Any person, any customer comes across your store for the very first time, they don't know who you are. They don't trust you. And that is why they're gonna be a lot more less likely to buy from you the very first time. But now you have the power with your content marketing strategy, with your website, to get these people onto your own store and to guide them to make a purchase. Now, how do you do that? You do that by you thinking about very clear exactly what do your customer want and what do your customer need to make a decision. Now, when you think about when you think about marketing, okay, the what you want to think about is the fact that a lot of these customers, is the first time they see you on the internet. They don't actually know who you are, and they need more time to get used to who you are. So they become aware of you by the first time. Okay. So that they become aware of you, they're thinking, okay, you know what? I like this brand. I like this particular business. I like what they're selling. I think I'm gonna take my own time to see what else they got available. But they still don't trust you enough to buy from you. Now, how does that trust come? That trust comes with the type of content that you are sharing on your social media platforms. Or that could also be to a kind of a blog that you may have as part of your online e-commerce store. So when I'm talking about trust, what I'm trying to say is that your customers are thinking about exactly what would be like to buy from you. But before they can think of that, they have to know who you are. Because it'd be like dating. If I'm meeting a new guy now, I'm not gonna go and I like the guy, I'm not gonna say to, hey, I want to marry you. He would think I'm crazy and he'll walk away. So it's the same thing also with your online business. If you're a new customer going onto a brand new store and they're saying to you, buy this, you're not gonna buy. You'll be thinking, who are you? Where are you from? What should I buy from you? And these are the same kind of questions that your customer asking themselves when they interact with your own business. So they want to be educating these individuals with your content on social media. That's exactly what you want to be doing. You need to educate them. And education means that you're telling them about your brand. So not only what you're selling, but also why did you start your business? How I get to your inventory? Why should they care? What other charity cause or what other ethos you may have as part of your own business. So this is when you really got the time to flesh out clearly your branding identity. How do you want your customer to perceive your business? Why is it important for them to know that you do X, Y, and Z? So with your educational content, you're essentially training your individuals to understand who you are, to get to know you, and to start trusting you. Now, the other layer of trust is going to be unlocked by you sharing user-generated content. So what is that? Essentially is pictures and videos of everyday people wearing your products or use your products. That's because nowadays nowadays with your online business, people tend to trust more everyday looking people than business because obviously as a brand you're gonna say I got the best product, I'm so reliable, I'm so amazing, feels and etc. But when they actually see a blogger, for example, or an influencer, or even the friends, the mother wearing it, they're thinking, oh, she's an old person like myself. I can see myself actually wearing it because she's wearing it. And they're a lot more likely to trust their own opinions. That's why I started collecting reviews with pictures on our part of on my own store because when they can actually see other customers saying how much they love the product and they put in pictures themselves wearing it, then I know I'm one step ahead. I know where they kind of working in gaining the trust of these individuals. I could stay out there and be saying to you, yes, the best quality is made in Nigeria. You're gonna feel so comfortable when you wear it. You're gonna get so many compliments and blah, blah, blah. But they're not gonna hear it. But when they actually hear another person saying that, or they see a testimonial, they see words, a review, or someone is saying it, thinking, oh, okay, cool. So since that they've been able to serve their customers and they actually provide a particular product, then I may be able to get that too. Because a lot of thought goes through a mind of a customer. They think, oh, are they trustworthy? Are they scammers? Are they legitimate? Do they ship to a particular country? Can they do that? Before they can actually get to that stage, the first thing is that they need to become aware of you and they have to like you. The customer will go to a stage of liking you or trusting you and then to buy from you. Someone that doesn't trust you is not going to buy from you. Someone that doesn't like you is not going to buy from you. Someone that doesn't even know who you are is obviously not going to buy from you because they don't even know where to find you. And one of the biggest problems about African fashion brands is the lack of visibility. There are so many brands out there, okay? That's the reality. There's so many. But only about 3 or 4 will pop up in your mind. And that's because they are invested money to improve their own visibility. And when I say visibility, what I'm trying to say to you is just the fact that they spent money to try to gain to reach a wider audience every day. That could be through influencer marketing. That could be through SEO, blogging, and Pinterest. That could be through using YouTube and Google ads. That could be through using Facebook and Instagram ads. That could be through using affiliate marketing. So there's so many different ways for you to reach your wider audience, but you need to work on it every day. Because just posting on Instagram, I won't lie, it's not enough. Just posting on Facebook, again, it's not enough. Having about 5 to 10 sessions every day in your store, again, is not enough. People tend to buy when you tend to get at least 100 sessions every day to get at least two particular sales because the conversion rate is 2%. And if it's more than that, it's great. So, going back into the product, also, if you're going to be working with the vendors and suppliers, you may want to ask them for some samples. When I work with Nigerian African vendors, I do ask for samples. So what they do is that they can't just really do a very quicker version of the design that I'm asking them to do, and they use any fabric, any scrap that they may have available. I don't get a sample with the actual fabric that I'm going to be using for my collection. And that's because most of the time the samples cost a lot of money. They are a manufacturer. They are working in hundreds and hundreds of yards, and it's not economical for them to just kind of cut, let's say, 5 yards or 4 yards for my sample without them being sure I'm gonna order it for sure. So because of that, they just send it to me with another type of a fabric, but it'll still be the design that I'm trying to understand whether I would like or I would not like. And yes, I pay for the sample, and most of the time you get the money for the sample back by you placing the bulk order pretty much. So also suppliers and vendors, and then you want to ask yourself exactly who are you selling this product to? And I am tired of hearing people telling me I sell to everyone because no, you don't sell to everyone. When you're trying to sell to everyone, you're selling to nobody, pretty much. That's what is happening. You are selling to nobody. And that is why you want to make sure you really understand exactly who are your customers, where are they located, what is important to them. So you think about their demographics. The demographics data are very much around the actual individual. So where do they live? What job do they do? Are they married? What is the age group? What is the gender? Um, what is the gender? What else? How many kids do they have? And etc. So that is the demographics data. And then to understand their behaviors, which is very important to you as an online e-commerce, you want to focus in understanding the psychographics. Now, what are the psychographics? So things like what they hang out when they're on the internet. Do they spend more time on Facebook, on Instagram, on Pinterest? Do they like to go on Amazon? Do they like to bookmark their own website? What are their goals in life? What is important to them? Why is it important to them? Do they open emails? When do they open emails? Who else are they following online? Who is their favorite celebrity online? Because all that information gives you tons for you to think about on how to market your business. For example, if you know that you are mainly working with if you know, for example, that your customers are a big fan of, let's say, Michelle Obama, okay, you may actually want to look into in creating maybe a collection that you believe a woman that loves Michelle Obama may actually be liking in getting to. Most time, people that like Michelle Obama are women that very much are they're self-starters, they're very motivated, they want to be successful, they still want to maintain a family, they want to be able to pretty much wear all the hats and still live a fulfilled life. So but you know clearly who are they following, who's important to them, who are they looking up to. You can decide create a whole marketing strategy based off that, pretty much. Another example I can give you here on about you understanding your target audience. If your customer tells you I'm a big fan of Amazon and I like to book my website because I don't really have time, that customer is telling you that they're really expecting free shipping, number one. They expect it to be fast, so by the following day on 2 days' time. And as they're very busy, they do not have the time to keep on looking for the link of your website. So you need to be sending out enough emails to these individuals, making sure you're making it very clear where is the button to visit your own site. I want to make sure you're adding the price of the shipping into your own product so you don't charge for that separately. Because nowadays a lot of people online are getting very used to get free shipping. That's the norm pretty much. They won't get free shipping to get within 2 to 3 days. And that gets tricky when you're running an online business that is also providing product to customers that are in a different country. So you got to find a way how you can really balance that. What I do is that I tend to offer £75. So if customer in the US or in Canada is spending with me at least £75, they're getting free shipping because I know I will put that price within the shipping in a way they order. But within the UK, I'm offering free shipping. And what I do is I just can go for the second class tracked and they tend to get it and everyone's kind of really happy. And then on top of that, I got that price, that shipping fee added onto my own product price. So it's very important for you to understand exactly who is your customer and what are the expectations. You will also need to do a lot of market research. Or before we get to that, yes, as someone with a product manager background, I'm leaving for this card. Yes, so, oh, thank you so much. Okay, so this is an example of a customer avatar. And this lady, she's actually one of my influencers that work for my brands. I love this girl, but that's not her real name, by the way. So this is an example that you want to kind of keep in mind on how to run your own your line business, how to really understand your target audience. So you want to tell us exactly what are the demographics. So how old are they? She's a lady, she's 28 years old, she's from Leicester in the UK. She is engaged and has a 2-year-old daughter. She was born and raised in the UK, but her parents are from Uganda. She got strong roots with her culture, so tradition, language, food, and customs. And she has an IT job that pays her about $8,000 in a year. And she's also a lifestyle blogger. She hangs out on Instagram and on TikTok, and she's signed up to many email lists. And she's an advocate for next day delivery, bookmarks, website. So by looking at customer avatar, if you put in your marketing hat, you can actually start seeing a lot of different patterns in there. So let's break this down. We can see that she's in her late 20s, okay? She lives in a big city in the UK. She's engaged and has a 2-year-old daughter. So what that tells you in there is the fact that she's obviously someone that's very focused about her life. She's important making sure she's a fulfilled life. She's still able to maintain a very well-paying IT job while also being a lifestyle blogger. So most likely sharing tips about parenting, sharing tips about fashion, sharing tips on how to maintain sort of balance as a mother and a working mother, and etc. So those kind of individuals tend to have a very high following on social media. And when that happens, what that means is that when there's a whole brand, a whole store launching online, they have to be the very first people that go and buy for the particular store because they're so keen to actually share their own feedback about it. Okay. Now here we are the point that said that she was born and raised in the UK, but her parents are from Uganda, and she has strong roots with her culture. So most likely Aliyah will be someone that talks a lot about her culture to her daughter, and she wants to make sure she knows about it. Now, what does that tell you? For example, if you decide to run an online store, okay, where you're selling African fashion items for mothers and for daughters, then you'll be looking to create some potential matching kind of outfit because you know this kind of customer is going to be leaving for this kind of items. Okay, definitely. So now, as you're thinking about you creating product for this particular customer, you also want to ask yourself exactly how you're going to market this product. And we can't just be putting products out there, be like, hey, yes. Like, for example, if we know that we have here, we're selling this particular scarf that she has on her head, that this head wrap, we can't just put the picture of the head to be like, hey, this is available, $20, come and get it. What's that? That's such a very lazy way to market your product. And then on top of that, it won't get you any results. You need to entice these customers. You need to let them feel like, whoa, they're getting the latest scoop from you. I want it in a way that's very pretty as well. So how would you do that? You may want to be looking into maybe creating sort of collection where you have the mother, a woman and a child playing mother and daughter together, and they kind of really in that process or tying up the head wrap, they're laughing, they're smiling together. You want to really get into the shoes of your customers and try to understand exactly what is important to them. Why do they want to? Why would they want to wear kind of head wrap? When would they wear it? What are they trying to achieve by doing that? Because I also got a background in UX design, I do spend a lot of time in having focus group with these people. I have focus groups and also one-to-one user sessions. Now, within those sessions, I ask them very clearly exactly why do they buy African fashion items? When do they think about it? Why is it important to them? How does it make them feel? When do they wear it? These are all key questions that help me to understand the mindset of these customers. And then I go away and I create a marketing strategy based on what they told me. Is the easier way to run an online business by you talking directly with the customers. There's not any other way. When you hear a brand telling you they made millions of pounds and etc., they spent enough time in carrying out research And not just service. Service are all right. I don't mind service because they give you good numerical data. You can have an idea what's happening. You may do a survey to understand really how many people come to your store, to see some percentages. They're a good start. But to really understand the why and the motivations, you got to ask questions. I need to watch them answer these questions. You need to kind of watch them, how they feel, the emotions on their faces, because that tells you so much about the customers and it makes it so much easier for you to run your online business. When you're running your online business without knowing who you're targeted to, it's hard. Everything feels hard. Marketing is hard. Creating posts on Instagram is hard. Building your online store is hard. Everything just feels super duper difficult. But when you know very clearly and you got the laser focus on these customers, it gets so much easier. Even the colors, even the branding, even the tone, the fonts they want to be choosing, everything would just make sense because you know exactly who these customers are. So as we have it here, the strong. So I want to give you guys an example of some marketing for this kind of customer. So let's say, for example, you guys selling bonnets and you got bonnet for adults and for children. Now, what you want to do is to create maybe a picture or a video where you got a mother wearing the bonnet beside her daughter's bed while reading a book to her. And you can see the child also wearing that same bonnet, the kids version, and the boy looking at the book. That kind of content is a 1 million worth kind of content. What is that? Because it's speaking directly with the customers. You're able to get customers to visualize themselves wearing this bonnet and to understand how they could actually wear it. A mother that sees them on social media thinking, oh wow, I'm buying that from my daughter straight away. You will get loads of sales just because you put up a content that's speaking directly with your customers. You spend enough time in understanding who's the target audience. And that's how I was saying to you, I spend more time in just kind of carrying out a one-to-one session with the customer than doing surveys. Because when a customer tell me exactly when they wear these items, I can just go away and create content of that pretty much. So here we also know that she has an NIT job and that pays her this amount of money. She's a lifestyle blogger. So we know she's busy. We know she's about her money. And we know she wants to be comfortable, most importantly. That's why she's working so hard. She's not lazy. She hangs out on Instagram and TikTok and she signed out to many email lists. Now, what does that tell you? It tells you that you want to make sure that to reach this kind of customer, you should be on Instagram and on TikTok. And you should also be writing emails to your email list at least once a week. Some brands do email marketing, and that is fine. That's totally up to them. But the brand that they actually do, they make a lot more money from email marketing. I make about 35% of my revenue through email marketing. That's where all it comes from. But me sending out emails. And it's not only sending out new arrivals every week. I got automations set up to target this customer at different stages of the buyer persona. So I got emails for people that not bought in about 2 or 3 months. I got emails for people that bought not too long ago, they've been very happy. I got emails for people that are part of a cart abandonment sequence. They never recovered it, but they still come to the site. So depending on their behaviors, which I have tracked down and I made note of that. And I try to really understand that the mindset based on those behaviors. I create emails that are going to resonate directly with these customers to get them back onto my store and to convert them into sales. Then we have an advocate for next day delivery bookmarks website. So essentially, here, as I mentioned earlier on, she's definitely a big fan of getting her items very quickly. So people like her will get anxious if she's ordered for you, let's say 3 days ago, and she's not heard anything from you. So if you know that you're always going to take a little bit longer, or you're trying to target a customer that needs a product very quickly, you want to make sure you have enough email automation in place to keep your customers in the loop. I don't know what's going on. Oh, we're fulfilled it today. We're gonna fulfill it tomorrow. Thank you for your order. We're really grateful. We're gonna deliver in the next couple of days. Whatever the case is, be in touch with your customers because it makes you look good. It makes your brand look reliable and trustworthy. So I mentioned a bit about market research. So there's definitely about market research. You've got market research that you carry out really very much on your own. Then you also have a user research, so which essentially you talking directly with the end users of your website of your business. And then you also have a social listening, which is essentially you trying to go back and reading the comments underneath the social media platforms like Facebook, like Instagram, like TikTok, to understand how those individuals feel, perceive about those brands. Now, why are all this important? Because they help you to gather data, and data is what helps you to build an outstanding business. There's no other ways around it. If you're about to launch your brand and you don't know really how to do that, and you don't really know exactly what your customer will be looking for, you want to first understand who are your competitors. Are they the Yanu, Grassfield, Ofure? What else is there? There's lots of amazing brands out there within the African fashion industry. So if those brands are your competitors, what you want to do is to spend your time, and this is not like a 1 or 2 day task. I would say at least a week. Get loads of data, get loads of keywords ready for you to use, and go down each of those comments. Read what people are saying. If you want to go to the extra mile, which is what I tend to do, I'm also gonna try to click onto their own profiles to see what kind of people are they. If I see someone that has an open profile, already I know they're friendly. Most likely they're probably gonna buy the product, and if they like what they have, they will also leave a review. If they're probably also people that will be very much willing to like share ideas to come onto my own market reach if I need to. Just by me looking at the public page, I can understand so much about the customers. If I go on someone's profile, I'm thinking, and I see that they're private, then I'm thinking, okay, cool. They probably have a family they're trying to protect. They're not very much into social media. They probably don't really like even leaving reviews, or even if they like the product, they may not have to say anything about it, and etc. And you can't do anything about that really. But it just kind of helps for you to understand who are your customers, how can you best switch your marketing based on who you're talking to, pretty much. So you also want to look at the product of your competitors. So what are they selling? What are the best sellers? What are the prices like? What's the price range? That is important. Because if you're going to be selling a product that you believe is more expensive or is more expensive than the average, it's going to take you a lot more longer for you to sell it. And that's because already people don't know who you are. You got no visibility, you got no reviews, you got no user generated content. You have literally no proof that says that you have served other customers. So if on top of that, you now have a high expensive price that is outside the range of other brands, that will take you longer for you to grow. People will come to your store, they think, oh yeah, I like it's nice. But just because the price tends to be outstanding, you will get some sales, but not as many as you could if you're just within the price range of other brands, pretty much. Obviously, looking also at the audiences. So as I mentioned, I do spend my time looking at people's profiles and also looking at the reviews. You can also do that by going to the own website. So go onto the website, look at the best sellers, scroll down to look at the reviews and see what people are saying. Some brands also have private Facebook groups, and within the private Facebook group, people tend to share pictures with each other, videos, feelings, feedback. They also carry out some market research to understand if they have like a new sample they want to bring it within the market, they first share it with those people within the Facebook group to try to get their own feedback. And then based on what they say, they go away and decide whether they want to bring it out to a bigger audience or not. So feedback, market research, all that data is going to help you to understand how to move forward in building in the successful online brand. Then, community building. This is key because you can't launch a brand to nobody. You need to launch a brand to actual people that are going to be excited and ready to buy from you. And that's really what I'm focusing on now with my own brand. So as I mentioned to you at the beginning of the class, I'm launching a new Shaper brand in May, and I'm very much in the middle of community building. Right now, as I'm speaking to you, I have about 35 emails from leads that want to come join my pre-launch list. People that ask me questions, they send me pictures about themselves. We've been talking a lot with these people, and all those faces is what I call community building. Being able to speak with my dear target audience to understand the pain point and to understand how I can best address this pain point with my product. My product gonna bring you the solution to these people pain point, but I won't know what those are until I speak to them, until I have them as part of my own community. And that is why this is so important. You can't launch your brand and rely only on Instagram. Unless you got millions of followers and you've been very active, you go live, people know who you are, they trust you, then in that case, that you may actually make some money. But if you're a brand new store with no visibility, less than 20 followers, you don't have an email list, you just got a product ready, you put up a couple of posts to say that you're gonna launch, then getting sale is gonna take a lot more than that. But if you're still at this stage, I mean now, the pre-launch stage, and you're spending enough time building your own email list, you're active on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok, you got a blog, you're trying to pin the main page of the blog to improve the SEO of your online store in general. So all these factors will definitely help you to make sure you can reach a wider audience even without the help of paid advertisement, then you are a good chance to or actually or having a good launch. My customer, my client that I work with, I have people that came to me with literally no experience in online business, okay? But they were work after spending 3 months together, they launched their own store and they made about 1,008 within 8 hours or launched their own brand. And that because they built their email list. This thing is golden. Because when Instagram, Facebook, TikTok all come down, all you got left is your email marketing, is your email list. Those people that signed up to your email that told you they actually have an interest onto your own business, they are your VIP leads. They are your VIP customers. And it's so much easier to convert these individuals into sales than random people that come to your store and they don't ever come back. So you want to spend enough time in actually building your own email list. You can do it in any way. What I'm doing right now, I'm running currently a giveaway to people to actually win some vouchers to spend within my own store. That works out just well for me because number one, with that giveaway, I'm gonna get some sort of feedback. Whoever's going to win the giveaway and actually buy from my store, they will tell me exactly what they want to, what they like, how they felt about it, what they want to say, and etc. Number two, I'm running the giveaway for 3 lucky people. So within these 3 people, I should see some sort of sales. And I can now look at that data and analyze it. What was the best seller within these individuals? What did they like the most? What kind of size did they like the most? So again, all that data will give me the answer to my questions to make sure I can actually create a well-functional marketing strategy moving forward. Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok are still great platforms. I'm a big fan of them. I just think that they're ideal for you to kind of capture these leads onto your email list. So eventually you want to get these people that tend to like your brand, these followers, away from social media and onto your own email list. Blogging and Pinterest, I believe these are also great ways for you to again reach your wider audience. In some situations, some people they start a whole blog which is on different platform for their own e-commerce, especially when they're about to launch their brand. So they know they haven't launched it yet, but it's a way for them to attract people's attention to their own brand still. And Pinterest is another SEO platform. So it's actually the second biggest search engine optimization, but it's more visual. People go in there to understand how to do things, to find a solution to their own problems. So when you go on Pinterest, what you want to do, you want to pin your blogs or pin your product or pin your collections. Okay, you can do any of those things and make sure you're adding all the keywords that you believe your customers is using to find your product. Let's say, for example, you're selling shea butter for, oh, can you guys make sure you're muting yourselves? Yeah. So let's say, for example, you're selling shea butter. And the shea butter is essential for people to have a smooth skin. Okay, so all those benefits that shea butter brings in, you want to make sure all of those within your own content also on Pinterest, because your customers that are looking for that kind of product because of those particular solutions. You also want to ask yourself exactly what kind of questions are they entering on Google to find your product. Stuff like African fashion dress, next day delivery, UK, or something like a shapewear for women, size 24, next day delivery, or something like so this different type of keywords that could be entered by your customers. The way you will know that is by you carrying out your own market research. Then the fifth step, so before we get into that, this is what I was trying to explain to you guys earlier about the customer psychology. So very much how your customers are moving on from liking you to trust you and then to buy from you. So right at the beginning, right here, you are getting a lot of customers becoming aware of your business. Now, how do they do that? By coming across your social media platforms, most likely. So Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat, Pinterest, etc. So they're coming out onto these different platforms and they seeing you. They're like, okay, cool. I like this brand. All right, they're all right. And after seeing it for a couple of times, they're thinking, you know what? I'm gonna follow this particular page. I like what they're selling. They did not say I want to buy it, but they say I like what they're selling. And they're thinking, okay, yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna follow and see what else they have in there. So when they're following you and they're thinking to like what you're selling, they are moving on from knowing you to liking you, which is a very special step. Because what that means is that your business is essentially moving your customers across your buyer persona. So yeah, your buyer journey, sorry, not buyer persona. I don't want to confuse you guys. So you're moving along these individuals across your buyer journey from not knowing who you are to seeing your content on social media to start following your content and then start engaging with you. You're posting comment, they're liking you, they're putting a comment, they're sharing it with their friends. All that engagement is so powerful for your business, especially between you and these individuals. So when you engage with the content on social media, because essentially you like what you kind of go by the values, you respect what they're talking about, you agree with them, and you want to be part of their own journey. So when you get to that stage, eventually you start thinking you'll buy from them, and then you start trusting them. Now, how do you actually get people to start trusting a little bit more? As mentioned, reviews, user-generated content, testimonials, even seeing your behind the scenes. Like, I want to see you posting item. I want to see you going to post office. I want to see your packaging. I want to see the founder behind the brand. I want to hear exactly how they founded the business, what's important to them. All of that type of content helps me to trust you as you being the business owner. And then they start buying from you. Yes, then they start buying from you. So that is essentially is the key conversion point when people are either actually being converted or just being a lead into actually being buyers. But how do you move down from trusting to buy from you? It's all down to you making sure you got as part of your email list, making sure you probably provided things like free shipping or any incentive that could make someone being a little bit unsure to actually buy from you. And this particular sales funnel, this is what we tend to call it, is very important for you to understand exactly how your customer are going from becoming aware of you to actually buy from you. It's a journey. It could take a day, it could take a week, it could take a month. If for any reason you clearly understand who's target audience, okay, you know who your customer, you know what the pain point, you know how to address them. And the fact that you're so good in addressing this pain point with your content marketing, it brings you across customers that have a high need or getting that pain resolved, then these type of people tend to buy within the day because they have been looking already for your stuff. And because you place all the right keywords within the back end of your store, you're able to place your products as a solution to the problems of these customers that have a high need. So as you understand it now, you have a different type of customers. You got people who need a bit of time to buy from you. And these people, they will go through this particular sales funnel. And then you got people who you know are your target audience and don't actually need as much time before they can actually buy from you because they're seeing you as a business solution. You've been so good with the content marketing that is speaking to them directly. When I run ads, I get people telling me, wow, I saw your ads and I was just thinking, how does she know so much about me? And I don't know these people individually. No, I really don't. But I know exactly what my customer needs. I know what the pain point. I know why they will come across my own content. I know what kind of keywords they're entering. And that was through market research. I fear there's a thin line between showing up and trying to engage with them and bothering their timelines. I've unfollowed people because they post too much. So that does happen, but this is the thing. A customer that really likes your brand will not unfollow you. That's the reality. They will not unfollow you. And if they unfollow you, they may just probably join your email list. And if you're indeed speaking directly to the pain point of these customers, they'll find you again and they'll follow you back. I have people that unfollowed me and follow me back again. I have people that are not following me on Instagram, but they see part of my email list and they're still buying from me until tomorrow. So I don't want to talk about posting too much because I'm thinking this is my business. I had to post to get products out there. I have to make noise for you to know that I'm here to solve a problem. And same thing goes also with emails, guys. I'm very big on email marketing. I send out a lot of emails. I see every day on subscribers, but it doesn't bother me because I'm thinking to myself, if you're going to unsubscribe from me now, what that means is that I'm able to focus more on to those people who do not unsubscribe. And I can make sure they can keep on reaching, they can keep on buying from me and keep on getting value from my content. If someone subscribe for me, they know your dear customers. They don't want to be served by you, and that is fine. And sometimes people just kind of move on from that particular brand, that also happens. And they kind of really you lose this part of your own sales funnel. And that is totally fine. But there are times in which I'm even posting up to 6 times a day, especially if I'm trying to empty a particular inventory, if I'm trying to really sell everything out, I know I need to post continuously. I'm posting on my story, I'm posting on my feed, I'm making sure people know about it. If people do unfollow me, but again, it doesn't bother me because I'm thinking, well, you don't want to be my customer. That's cool. Someone else does like what I'm posting. You have to be top of mind. Everyone is on SM, so you need to make sure you're seen. Oh, social media. So you need to make sure you're seen. So yeah, you need to post, post, post. Carry your business. Your Absolutely, yes. Okay, so now how do you launch your business? That this is the final stage. Once you spend enough time in doing your market research, you understand how to build your own community. You've spoken to your email subscribers, you've spoken to your audience on Instagram, on Facebook, on TikTok. You understand what kind of business model you want to go with. You understand what kind of products you want to be selling. You source this product, you tried out your samples, you're happy with it, you got your collection ready. It's time looking to launch your own brand. Now you could do it in two ways. You can use Etsy or your online store. Either of these two ways do have advantages and disadvantages. If you want to go with Etsy, Etsy can be great because they already have a whole lot of customers that are ready, that always come to your store and they'll be more likely to buy from you if you're on Etsy. It's very straightforward as well. The transaction is very quick. The checkout process is also very quick and is all done within in that way. Now, with your online store, so I'm not talking about the disadvantage about Etsy. The disadvantage of using Etsy is the fact that you do not have access to the data of your customers. You don't get to have the email addresses. You get to know the names. Obviously, you have the addresses because you're gonna send out the item to them, but that's where it ends. It's very hard for you to build a well sustainable brand because they holding up to onto the data. And data is really where their money is. So you can't send out emails, for example, on a weekly basis to them. You can't reach them directly. It's very hard with Etsy to do all of that. But with your own online store, you're spending all the time in building your online store. You're building your collection page, your product, your homepage. You're adding your own policies, your terms of use policies, your private policy, your shipping and your shipping fees, your return and your exchange fees. So you are the one deciding very much how you're going to run your business on every aspect. You decide exactly how your customer are going to go through different stages of the checkout process. So when they land to your homepage, and they're moving on to the product page and they get there and they're scrolling down, they're adding product into the item, they move on to onto the cart, they go ahead in checking out the process, what they see on the checkout page until when they make the payment, what kind of payment they want to be making available. You are the one deciding every aspect of your business. But the good thing about that is that you hold on to everything about your business. You hold on to data for customers. You can send out emails on a weekly basis. You can reach customers even through SMS marketing. I do a lot of SMS marketing as well with my customers. And you can actually really, it's easier for you to build an online store once you gain the trust of these individuals. So once they buy from the very first time and they've been happy with the overall service, they've been happy to actually buy from you. They love the whole experience. They're a lot more likely to come back to you. And you can set up different ways to market your brand by just focusing only on your customers. You can do affiliate marketing. You can have a subscription for them to get extra sales on a monthly basis. Something like, hey, every month pay £15 every month. I want to be giving you special deals or special VIP services just for you. So you can do so much more with your online store because you got full power, full ownership onto your store, and it just makes things so much easier. The only downside is the fact that if you have any issue, so sadly, chargebacks do happen. You always get a customer that will tell you, "Oh, no, received the item, I don't know where is it," and they'll go to their own bank to get the money back. Especially when you know that everything has happened in a very legitimate manner. So when that happens, there's not really much that you can do because they've already gone to their own bank to collect the money, and then you're just gonna be left with that minus on your store that tells you that you've not been able to fill an order when you know that you have done that. It doesn't make you look good. It doesn't make your own business look good. Even Shopify can start keeping tabs on you because you have had one particular case in which a customer has claimed they not received their product. So that doesn't really make you look good. But it's part of business. You can't avoid it. Some brands are so lucky they never get that. But other brands, especially if you sell with black people, sadly, it does happen. So we're not gonna keep a mind, be of a mind on that. If you have Etsy and those things do happen, it's a little bit more easy for you to sort it out because Etsy has a very strong customer support for you as you being the business owner and also for the customers. And you can easily kind of really show proof that listen, I sent this off. Here are the pictures. Here's the tracking number. It has been received and etc. But with your online store, it can get a little bit more trickier. That's the only downside. But I am a big fan of online store. And I think that should be really the best way for also you guys to start your own online business. What drives sales on Etsy? Not had a sell from that in 4 months since I listed a couple of products. I think with Etsy, so I when I sell it on Etsy, I don't know how Etsy really works to be honest. So I've had my products on there. People do buy once in a while. I don't know what to drive the sale. I've seen people actually running ads as well on Etsy, and I think it works for them. I wouldn't really say just run ads. Maybe it's all down to how you list your products. It's all down to kind of keyword they're using. It's down to kind of pictures you have in there, down to how much information they're putting in there as well. If you have enough reviews, if you have enough stars, customers kind of looking at all of that. So they may actually see your product, but they may not want to buy it due to you not having enough information, for example, or maybe not enough images, or there's no info about shipping, or it shows that maybe you're a brand new store and you know how they end the reviews. So I can imagine that all those aspects do have an impact onto the decision making of the customer, whether they want to buy from you or not. But I'm not an Etsy expert. I'm more of a online store kind of expert. So if you tell me I want to store this brand, I can just sit down with you, just kind of make it all done. That's really is my bread and butter. Okay, now the last stage is to promote your product. This is important. You want to promote on every platform possible. Obviously, ideally by now, you've done your market research. You know where your customers are sitting. Some customers are only on Instagram and Facebook. Some customers are only on Facebook and TikTok. Some customers are only on Pinterest and Facebook. Whatever the case is, number one, your SEO, search engine optimization, need to be executed on your store in all possible pages. So what is that? Essentially, that is you adding keywords on the back end of your store. So once you do your keyword research, once you understand what kind of sentences are your customers more likely to enter on Google to find your product, you need to add those onto all your pages. I always say it's good to make sure you add it on your collection page, on your knowledge information page. So that could be your blog page, for example, that could be your policy page, for example, and then also your product pages. So the title of your product should have something that is a bit of a keyword of what people are trying to buy from you. For example, within my African fashion brand, I always have for any interest that I have in there, I got the names, okay? But no one knows the names of this product. Only me, I know them. Only I'm the one that actually knows the names. People are gonna be adding stuff like African fashion dress, African fashion tube, African fashion shirt, dress, African fashion two pieces, African fashion set, blazers, whatever the case is. So most kind of adding those three words at the beginning of my product, and then I go into details and I mention the name of the actual product. That's an example of SEO, pretty much. Another example is you adding a very long description of your collection. Something like this is a collection of African fashion dresses made in Africa of an African wax print. We have it available in multiple colors. It's gonna make you feel like a queen. You're gonna get lots of compliments. So you wanna kind of be adding very much a lot of the answers that your customers are kind of looking for through their own research on Google, and making sure that you come across as the main solution to your customers' problems. When it comes to SEO ranking, usually if you're able to get your site to mention about 84 times, you have a high chance of having it on the main page. But most of the time that doesn't really happen. And that's because you have there's a high competition for those brands that spend the money to have the store mentioned right at the top page. But either way, I would still say go ahead, do your SEO. With time, it improves your ranking of your store. It improves your likability of you being clicked on from other sources. Pinterest and SEO, in my opinion, do work hand in hand, because when you're able to pin your product or your blogs as part of your own optimization, it gets a lot more easier for people to find your business. I also had sales from Pinterest, and the way I know that's because with Shopify, you can easily see how each sale has come through. It tells you very clearly how you get a sale, how many times they be on your site, how many sessions they actually have had, and etc. So me knowing the source of my marketing improves my marketing strategy, because I know exactly how often I need to make sure I'm creating content on those platforms. There's no point me spending all day online on TikTok if I'm not getting them coming from TikTok. But now with TikTok, you got the option to have your TikTok shop. I heard it's really good. I never tried it. I'm trying to find time to sit down and to sell my TikTok shop. But I'm hearing it's a great platform and people are indeed doing really well. I also got the option to have the TikTok shop live option, where you kind of really just going live and you just kind of really there send to people right there on the while you are on that live session, which I think is pretty cool as well. And then, as you guys know, Facebook and Instagram. I like Facebook because for each post you can actually add the link of the product page, and I think that's very powerful because you're actually reducing the kind of steps that your customers are trying to make to get into your store. So that's why I really like Facebook. Instagram is also great because with Reels, you can really increase your reach to lots of people, which is great. But I don't know the fact that you can't really, that the links are not hyperlinks. So people cannot click on the link on Instagram, or else they go into your bio to go into the actual link in there. But through market research, I found out a lot of people don't know what bio is. So when I'm saying, hey, just go on my bio to get the product, no one knows what I'm talking about. So because of that, I had to change things a little bit. Now it's stuff like DM me the word X, Y, and Z to get a direct link, or comment the word X, Y, and Z to get a direct link, because I realized people don't know what bio is. And I'm thinking, why am I not getting so many sales coming from Instagram? Just because I'm not being able to direct these people properly. And that is the power of you doing market research, to understand the best messaging of your customers, to understand how to best get to them. We don't want to be talking to robots. Even though I love ChatGPT, I've learned that it's not really the best tool because the answers are very robotic. I use something that's called AI undetectable now. So what I do is I still go ChatGPT to get all my info because the info is top notch. But then I put it onto AI undetectable. And when I do that, it kind of humanize a bit the wording. Because when I ask ChatGPT, it tells me stuff like unlock. It used very funny words that feel very robotic. Even the tone is not great, and it makes it very awkward for me. But when I go onto AI undetectable, whatever I got it for ChatGPT, I copied and pasted on it. I click the button to humanize it. I also choose the tone, and then it does the whole work for me. So that's why also I like that. Okay, so guys, there are definitely three things you have to remember. Have a clear idea on who is your ideal customer. This is so important. You need to know who's your customer, because if you don't know who's your customer, then it's going to be hard to build your business. Do your market research, do your user research, do your social listening. Spend enough time to understand exactly what are your customer looking for. Let's not build a brand just for the sake of us saying because it's a side hustle. Your side hustle could become your legacy if you really hand it by both hands and you take it seriously. Let's try to put in the kind of work ethic that we do for our 6 figures, 9 to 5 job onto your own business. The initial days may be slow. You may not get as much reach, as much traction, but the more you keep on going, the more results you will see. And if you don't have money to spend and you know an expert within a paid advertisement, go for that. Don't do it yourself. Because if you do it yourself, you may end up just wasting loads of money, to be honest. Yeah. So, create a highly convertible website. You need to optimize your website. You do. Optimizing each page of your website. Think about exactly what the kind of journey that the customer going through when they're on your site, from the home page to the collection page. So there's it within you that we call information architecture. So that is essentially how the information is arranged within your own store. So within your online e-commerce store, if you're selling clothing, most likely you got trousers, you got skirts, you got dresses, you got shoes, and etc. So you being able to place all the different items into different categories is you being able to arrange information in a way that your customers are going to find it. Now, why is that important for you to know? Because your customer already, when they come to your store, they think in their mind, okay, I'm more likely to go onto that collection page to know what I'm looking for. Now, if for any reason they find the same product onto multiple collection pages, they're gonna get confused. And a customer that's confused is not going to buy. No, they're not going to buy. They just exit like, well, okay, I don't know what I'm doing here, but there's so many other options out there, so I'm just gonna go for that other option. We get bombarded every day by loads of notifications on our phone, by emails, Facebook, Instagram, etc. So the second your store is not fully optimized, or it takes too long to load, or it's got low quality images, or it just kind of says buy, 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 buy everywhere, people will exit because you're not the only one doing that, sadly. But I don't want to scare you by saying the industry is saturated, because even though it may be saturated, there's definitely space for everyone to eat. Our special power is us being ourselves. That's our special power. Yes, do your market research. Yes, try to understand what other competitors are doing, but do what you believe is best for you and stick to your own story. Stick on to why you started your own business. Make sure you talk about that almost every day. I started doing this because of X, Y, and Z. I started this because I want to support that charity cause. One of my clients, for example, she supported the building of a secondary school in Zimbabwe. And she's a big fan of that. She talks about it all the time. And people love to know that when they buy from that store, they're also actively impacting a lifestyle a lot of young children in an African country. In an African country, yeah. People love to know stuff like that. So don't be shy. Talk about what side of business. It doesn't have to be only about you selling that product in all sizes and worldwide shipping. You want to really try to do some soul searching, understand really what is your why. If it's all about you making money, I mean, that's okay, but don't share that. Really ask yourself exactly what else you want to achieve with that business. Where do you see it in 3 years? Where do you see it in 5 years? Why is it important to you? What are your values? What are your ethics? How do you want your customer to perceive you? Do you want to be the best within your industry? The best how? Is it the best product? The best customer service? The best branding story? The best sales day? It could be anything. But only you knows how you like your customer to perceive your brand. And once you've decided that, you're going to create a plan to understand how to best reach this customer through your own branding story, through your own branding identity. And branding is a lot more than just colors, labels, logo, and all of that jazz. Brand is down to your messaging, your voice, your why. These three, these three element make your brand identity, and it's what makes people drawn onto you. In the most simplest way, brand is essentially you just start telling people why starting your business and what are your struggles and what are your fears and your pain points. Because most likely you are a similar target audience to your own customers. If you're experiencing a particular issue and you want to start a business to solve that issue, then you already are the particular customer, and you find it a lot more easier for you to talk about that. Now, the second you want to start sharing those issues, you being the founder, you're working your brand identity. And people will be drawn to that because you just gotta be yourself. You gotta just be transparent. And it's funny because it is the easiest thing to do, but no one actually does it nowadays. We go on social media, we go on Instagram, we're posting only the best pictures, only picture when we're happy. We don't post picture when we're sad, or when we're fighting with our spouses, or when we are when we're not really feeling our great way. We don't do that. And I'm not trying to say we should start doing that because I'm not gonna do that, to be honest. But if we were to start doing something like that, we'll be able to connect more with people because we all go through struggles on a daily basis. We all go through situations that can be hard to handle. And it gets a little bit more easier when you know someone else on the other side of the pond that feel the same way as you're feeling. And because of this, they've done something about it. And that's actually what draws people onto your own brand. And when I with my shapewear brand, I talk a lot about the fact that when I gave birth, I took a bit of time to feel myself again. I wasn't really happy with the way I looked. I was just kind of really feeling really down. I was depressed, and I was also overworked as well. Because by the time I had my second set twins, I now had 4 children under the age of 4 years, and that was mad when I think about it because because there was two set of twins, so it was just crazy. I know that made me feel all type of ways. I had to go to my optician to get a new test, a new eye test, and I had to get out of my house. I didn't want to because I just didn't like the way I looked. So I had to go and buy some shapewear to kind of try to really tuck in a bit my belly and make myself feel a little bit, a little bit better. And I bought a couple, and they were just not fitting me properly. And that's why I had to start thinking onto what can I do to potentially solve this problem that I show more people are experiencing it. And that's how my brand has now started and I will soon be launched. So I talk about that within my emails and within my content. I use that as a way to connect with my audiences. I use that as a way for people to understand what my struggles, what my pain points, but actually I do something about it. And I hope it will help you to make your life a bit more easier. I hope it will help you to gain your confidence. I hope it will help you for you to feel better. I'm not just selling shapewear. I'm selling products that will help you to feel a bit better, a bit more happier. It's all about mental health here. And my African fashion brand is similar to that. I started that brand because I was looking for blazers. I was looking for like everyday clothing that wasn't only for parties, but actually to go out. Let's say I want to go to work in the office. Let's say I want to go and run some errands. I want to have something colorful around me at all times. And that's why I started my African fashion brand. So I talk about that a lot, even within my marketing. Like, mainly before pandemic, you can just rush to the office, wear one of our African fashion blazers, and then just kind of go out in the evening with that type of blazer as well, because that outfit is ideal for both type of occasions. So as you can see, I'm now moving on to the marketing without having to say buy this, buy that, but actually making this customer visualize themselves, imagine themselves wearing these items, and also understanding why I'm doing it. People appreciate to know what is your why. People are nosy. Let me just start by saying that. People are very, very nosy. And most brands are faceless. We don't know who's the founder. We don't know who the CEO. We don't know who's behind it, etc. But when one CEO decides to be more outspoken and they now come on the front of the camera, they get all the attention because you're speaking where they're thinking, oh, wow, so that's what started the business. Oh, that's so interesting. People will judge. Is the reality. You can't do anything about that. I'm not getting people judge me because I'm just thinking, God is my main is one to think about when it comes to judging me. If anyone wants to be using it out there to start judging me, that's totally fine by me. And it took me a while for me to get to this kind of way of thinking because as a person, as me being me, I know I have a funny accent. I know I tend to speak fast. I know I have a stammer. I know there's all those things that kind of really against me. But I realized that's me. That's my brand identity. That's who I am. I can't be anyone else. And it's either you rock with me or you don't. And same thing goes with your business. You want to make sure that people love your brand, love you for who you are, not for something else. And that is why you want to make sure you spend enough time in really felching and really understanding what's your brand identity, what you bring into a table, what are your values, what are your ethics, what else do you care about apart from selling these products? If you're selling clothes to go to occasion, let's talk about that. How do you feel when you go to celebrations, you go to parties, to weddings, to graduations, seeing people happy? Why do you like that? How does that make you feel, and etc. Talk about the feelings that can be evoked by wearing your own products. Okay? And number three, your email list will make you millions. Guys, I'm not joking. Your email list will actually make you money. Last week, I reopened my store after about 18 months because of my kids. I couldn't handle it anymore. Okay. And within 3 hours, I made about £600. And that was through email marketing. I did not run any ads. I did not I posted about once on the day and I posted again 2 days before to let them know I'm gonna be reopening the store, but that was it. Your email list is going to be the one they'll actually be making your money. And that's because you're going to be getting some customers that are repetitive customers, and you can't be spending so much time and money in keep on acquiring new customers. You need returning customers as part of your own business strategy. And they start by you having people in your pre-launch list. Okay, before I continue, guys, yeah, how are you finding this? Did you learn something today? If you did, how about typing wow in the chat? I'll drink some water while you guys are typing your own comments in the chat. Okay, I still have one going up. Let me see. Explicit, mind-blowing. Wow. I love how extra some of you guys are. Well, I learned a lot also. I've learned a lot today. Wow. I'm so happy to hear that. Well, this is good. This is so good. I'm so pleased. I hope you guys take a note because as I said, there's no replay. There is no replay. I don't want anyone telling me, oh, is there replay? No replay. Take your notes. Okay? Take your notes and then go away and make sense of it, please. Thank you, guys. Waiting coach. Wow. Been a great time. Has been impactful. Also, I've learned a lot from you. Thanks so much. I also didn't know email is this. Oh, email is a life changer. Please start sending out emails, guys. Start sending out emails. I will send an email within. So let me see. I don't want to be too extra, but I sent one out today, for example, before I went out to go and pick up my kids from school. And I was kind of in a rush. I just kind of sent the as I'm making my way back from picking it up. I was just in my phone saying boom, boom, boom. And those were just text coming in. And I'm not posting anything on social media because no actually had the time. I wanted to, but I didn't have time to do that. But sending out emails are more impactful than just creating content social media. People within my email list, they know who I am, they know my brand, and they trust me. So it's easier for you to sell to those people than trying to acquire new customers on social media. That's just the reality. New point of view. I started the other way thinking of just making some extra bucks while meeting a need, but I'm so in love now, but having challenges with getting the customers. Oh, I'm in Australia and the African brand is not popular here. I get that. Not an email person and shot that people really buy from emails. This is eye-opening. Thank you so much. I do I understand why say emails seem to be a big deal. I knew email marketing was working because me as a person, I've always signed up to email lists. I read them. I love the colors. I love the designing. I'm thinking, wow, this is this is really good. So I kind of knew that emails don't seem to be a big deal. And also SMS marketing. I do that as well. I send out text messages. I actually got automation set up for text messages. I got some for people that first sign up. I got some for people that are bought a while ago. They're not bought in a while. So we call it like win back emails, win back SMS, sorry. I also got cart abandonment SMS automations, abandonment for emails. So any way to still get people, target people back onto my store by having the contact details, I am using it. I am totally using it. How do I get people's email as a new vendor? You just gotta get into your email list. So what you do is that you open an account with the email marketing software. You create a very quick pop-up or landing page and tell them, hey, sign up to my email list. Give them an incentive. That could be 10% discount. That could be anything pretty much. And just be like, hey, sign up to my email list. And people will actually sign up. But this is the thing, it takes time. For every 20 people that check out your landing page, you may get about 1 sign-ups. The key here is to not give up. I currently have about 2,300 people on my email list. And that's because I lost about 1,005 because I was changing marketing softwares. And it definitely did take a bit of time to get to that. But the key is to not give up. If you have the money and you have the time, you can do paid advertisements to run some ads and to get people onto your email list. You can also do that. Or you can decide to get people onto maybe you can get people to fill out a survey and that'll be for you to get the email addresses. You get people to come to sort of event that's free of charge and you get them to just join the invitation list through the email list. So there's definitely loads of ways. It's just really all down to your final goal and all down to how you can provide that. So if the information Dustin here said there are laws about setting up email subscription and you can be sued if you violate the rules. So it's necessary to check the laws of where you are. Oh, absolutely. Thank you for that. Quick question. How many items are ideal promoter first collection? Also, how regularly should you introduce a new collection? So how many items? I'll say 6 items is enough for collection. You don't want to overwhelm yourself with too many items because if this is your very first business, it's going to be new to you. You will need time to understand how to promote this product. You will need time how to understand how to get the right modules, the right influencers, the right content and all. So I'll say 6 products is more than enough, but make sure you keep on banging on about it. Every day promote this product. Every day send out emails. Every day be on Instagram or Facebook and etc. Every day trying to think about ways how you can reach a wider audience. How really should we introduce a new collection? I'll say once a month is enough. Once a month, once in 2 months. No, once a month is not enough. Once a month is fine. You could do once in 6 weeks as well. Because if you think about it, a month, 30 days is a lot of content if you can do it with it every day, pretty much. And definitely a way for you to keep on getting people to come to you. But I would say don't buy too much inventory if you don't know how to sell it yet. Because that's one of the worst way to end a fashion brand. If you're not having too much inventory that is still trying to sell years and years after, then that is a problem. So just buy maybe about 20, 30 pieces and just focus in selling all those out. When you sell those out, look at the data, analyze it, see what kind of items sold more quickly, what kind of styles more popular, and etc. But do not overwhelm yourself with too much inventory because that could be very dangerous. You don't want to do that.